Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, Lloyd Strayhorn. I have the honor and pleasure of bringing on a very unique gift for this last guest, for this last day of 2023 of Live with Lloyd on YouTube. Okay. Before I do, it's an honor and a pleasure too, because we have a lot of respect for this world is very small. We're both out of New York City, she Brooklyn, I in Harlem, but it's all the same as far as we're concerned. Okay. Before I do, there's a couple of things I want to make an announcement. And the show today is being brought to you sponsored by Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. She is about dealing with the subconscious mind, which is one of my favorites of why we do the things we do, what we think we manifest. So if you go to her podcast, you'll be amazed at her personal experiences actually become universal principles to all that listen carefully. Also, show is also sponsored on this last day of the year of 2023 for Live with Lloyd. My brother King Simon, we've known each other for years. We worked in radio. We've done other crazy things together. And it's a very, very nice experience. Today's forecast is Wednesday, December 27th of 23. The sun is in Capricorn. The moon is in Cancer. Yes, it was a full moon day the other day. Mercury is still retrograde until the very first day of January. It's a one universal month, a 5 universal week, a 1 universal day. So those under the signs of Aquarius or Leo or Aries or Scorpio, or if they're born on the first, like my guest, the 9th, the 10th, the 18th, the 19th, 27th, 28th, or 31st of the month. My guest and I was talking about, let me get something straight here a second. My guest and I was talking about, hi, everybody. My guest and I was talking about the fact that we were blessed to know the founder of Kwanzaa. We both were blessed to meet him, me in my own way, she in her own way. And so we're out of a certain generation where we really, really knew about what Kwanzaa represented. But for the newer generation, let me just give you a background on Kwanzaa. This is Ron Karanga. Actually, see, when I met him, he was Ron Karenga. Now he is Dr. Marlana Karenga. Okay. And these were his 7 principles. Yes, he told me he was born on July 14th. Anytime I meet a celebrity or anybody of note, the first thing I ask, what is your birthday? After that, they can do whatever they want to, but at least I got the birthday. So he based these principles on the 7 African principles, and it's called Nguzu Saba. And in the greeting during this Kwanzaa period, it is a Baragani. That is the way we do. So Neena Diamond and I are very familiar with this terminology. And for those, though, uh, it's always the very first day after Christmas. All right. So Tuesday was Umoja, which is unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. That was Tuesday. Today is Kuji Jagalia, which is define ourselves, name ourselves, and create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. And that's today. Tomorrow, on the 28th, is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. On Friday, the 29th, that will be Ujama, which is connect cooperative economics to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses and profit from them together. On Saturday, it will be Nia, which means purpose, to make our collective vocation, the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, the 31st, the last day of 2023, is Kaumba, which is creativity to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to keep our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. And on New Year's Day, Monday, that is Imani, which is faith to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, and our leaders, and the righteousness and the victory of our struggle. For those who want to know, Dr. Karenga founded the Kwanzaa in 1966. Okay, he has He is a doctor. He's earned his PhD in 1976 from what is at that time was called the United States International University. Now it's called the Alliance International University. And then in 1994, he got his other doctor's degree from the University of Southern California. Um, and Kwanzaa actually is a Swahili language, I may have said. And if you want to know more, let me just do this before I bring on my very distinguished guest. If you want to know more, he has a website, and I explored the younger generation to visit it, to see what he has to say. And I like the fact of what he says on his site. Is Malana Karenga.org. It's MalanaKarenga.org. It's at the top left of the screen. He says, "This is our duty to know our past and honor it, to engage our present and improve it, and to imagine a whole new future and forge it in the most ethical, effective, and expansive ways." Dr. Maulana Karanga is now he chairs the African Studies Department of California State University in Long Beach, California. And so this gives you an idea. So he founded it. Of course, he was an activist too and spearheaded a lot of things. So that's it. I want to thank him for doing that. And as I said, the one thing about my present guests and I have, hold on, let me get this straight, is that we both had the pleasure of meeting this man. But that's the kind of environment that my guest, Neena Diamond, and I came out of. Right, young lady? How we doing? Ho, 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 ho.
Emmy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we came out of some amazing times with some
Yes, we
amazing
did.
people, right? A lot of them are our
We did.
ancestors now, and we pay homage to them by continuing and doing this work, right?
Yeah, and Dr. Karinga is now 82 years old
Yeah,
and still chairing it. So it's very
yeah.
nice. And founded it in 66. That was a back in the day
I
moment.
know, right? That was back in the day. I can just feel that time.
Yeah.
We
And
needed
we
it.
celebrated Kwanzaa
Yep,
seriously,
yep, we needed it. Yeah,
setting
we
up our
needed
altar,
Kwanzaa back
laying out
then.
fruits and all that stuff. It was
And
just,
we made everything back then, remember? We
yep,
made it. We didn't buy anything. The thing was not to buy anything, it was to make it with love, right?
yeah, yeah. I think that gave it this. But Neena, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that I'm honored to have you as my very last guest for 2023. Now, I talk numerically about what's coming up for the year. It's going to be the year of the 8. And I think when we were talking the other day, you said it's going to be the year of the heart. Is that
It's the
correct?
eight of hearts, the eight of hearts.
Okay, but it's heart. Now, what is hearts? And then what is 8 of hearts? So for the year. In other
Well,
words, every one of us are going to be experiencing the effect of the heart, much less the 8 of heart. Is that correct?
yeah, for sure. And the significance is the years, we were in the seven of hearts year now, and we're going into the eight of hearts year. So the
Hmm.
significance is that, if it's an eight, it's going to be a heart solar value would be the eight of hearts, right? So in cardology, we look at the solar value. But the Eight of Hearts is a very charismatic card. It's Neptune and it's Jupiter. So it's known as a Playboy Playgirl card. It's a very interesting card, but because it's Neptune, it gives it that mystery, right? That flavor to it. Next year is going to be a very interesting year for a lot of people because we're stepping out of that 7, which is ruled by Neptune, and stepping into that 8 is ruled by Saturn.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting, step from, the work that we did this year that was more introspective. This was an introspective kind of year, more of a year where we were being more aware. Well, we should have been more aware of our spiritual, our gifts, the things and stuff that we wanted to cultivate and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I know it's difficult because we're working, we're raising family and stuff like that. But that time, we have to learn how to take that time to be able to replenish ourselves, right? And that's what the Seven of Hearts year was about. And now we're stepping into the Eight of Hearts year that's ruled by Saturn. So you know what that means, right?
Saturn is normally about work. Am I in the
Yeah.
ballpark with that?
Yeah, it's about work. And Saturn is a societal planet. They say it's a social planet, but it's a societal planet because the structures that society needs come from Saturn. Now we don't do it well because the structures and all the things that are put on us pretty much to for oppression purposes, and not really to help us to to grow inside of those structures, because structures are needed. We need every structure that's out there in some sense, but we need it in a societal way for that is because after we leave out of Saturn, we're going into Uranus, which is for the greater good. So this year we're going to learn about that because Pluto is going into Aquarius. So we're going to learn about the changes, the swift changes that need to be made, because we're not underneath that Saturn influence anymore, but Saturn is definitely the ruler of the 8. And, we're going to get a chance to see what success looks like.
Well, what's so amazing is from a numerological point of view, I know that we're heading into the year of the 8, and 8 is governed by Saturn. So it's interesting whether it's cardology, whether it's astrology, or whatever. It's like we're going into a Saturn influence, which denotes restrictions, confinements, being conservative. As I was explaining in the interview I did recently, it's needs versus want. You might want a new coat, but you need to get the rent straight. You need to get the mortgage straight.
Yeah.
You need to get the food in the cupboard straight.
Yeah.
Things like that. Now, so before we get into this, can you explain the 4 suits of clubs, hearts, diamonds, and spades?
Oh, sure. That's why I wrote my book.
We're gonna get to the book too.
The suits that we talk about often, especially when we're talking about a deck of cards, we're talking about the elements, and each element has a significance. We start out with hearts, which are the circulatory system that rolls through everything, and hearts are the babies. Then we go into clubs, and that's air, ruled by Mercury, right? It's everything above and below, and they rule the teenagers, right? But then we go into diamonds, who are the elders, and that rules all needful things, the things that we need and the things that take time for us to get.
And then does that rule?
Diamonds.
No, what element though?
Oh, the element of diamonds is the fall, right?
The fall
in the autumn time of the year.
Okay.
And then the spades, which are everything that I just said, is the seniors. Those are the elders and the seniors, and it rules the winter, right? So those 4 elements, when we're looking at specific things, we want to know what elements are attached to it, right? If you are a club, that means that you're going to be someone that has to communicate. Clubs have to say it, right? They got to get it out. So clubs represent communication from Mercury. Right?
But that makes sense because it's air and it's mental.
It's air.
That's interesting how all this is tied. I had no clue of the closest of this until I met you and Aquarius Maximus. And I mean, and I'm still dazzled to this day when you start explaining it. I'm saying like, okay, but I know this, you are the best at what you do, which is why I wanted to bring you on at the close of my last show for 2023.
And I'm so honored.
Yeah. So now, is there anything else we should know and like about this year coming up? Now, also, the year rules 8 of hearts, but aren't there individual months that are going through it? So when we open up the year of January, what card would that be? What suit or card, or what does that represent?
January, if you don't have my planner, you'll get one this year, right? But January, we're in the King of Spades month now. So this is the end of the year, and it's the King of Spades month. And then, but not by no strange coincidence, that's the God card. And we got Christmas and Jesus and all of those things that tie in. And then we're going into the Queen of Spades month in January. And it's not by no strange coincidence, is when we make our New Year resolution. We start our exercising regimen, because the Queen of Spades represents health, right? And mastery. So that New Year's resolution, resolution that we do in January comes under that. It's the first day of the year, is the King of Spades year. So the
Interesting.
power of January is not by no strange coincidence that we feel that we need to change something. It's like we have to get our health back in order because spades represent our health.
Okay. Now, what about February? So I'm sure somebody's gonna say, well, yeah, what about March? What about that? If you don't mind, if you can just, so what does February represent?
February is a jack of spades. So each month we have the king of spades, the queen of spades, the jack of spades. Then we go into the hearts, king of hearts, queen of hearts, jack of hearts. So each month is a court card. So, and it follows the hearts, the clubs, the diamonds, and the spades, right?
So there's always
So,
course like the jack, the king, the queen, okay,
mhm.
and the
And
ace,
the
of
jack
course.
is the ace.
Yeah, don't the ace isn't that a court card? It's not.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Only in spades.
okay, okay.
So the jack of spades, this February is the initiation month, right? As not by no strange coincidence that Valentine's is on the Jack of Diamonds day. So there
Interesting.
is so much
Interesting.
significance to these months. Yeah, it's real deep, right? It gets
Yeah,
better and better.
yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting. Um, let me. I'm going to kind of cut to it a second. Now, this is one of the books you published. Can you explain the Cardology workbook for those that are very interested in going into it?
Well, I wrote the workbook because 6 or 7 years ago, me and Aquarius started this, and there were so many things that I needed. I had all of the ancient books, the older books, but I couldn't really find myself in them. I was missing that divine feminine. So I wanted to these are the things I always wanted. So I put it in a book. And this is basically for the people who want to learn the grand solar squares. This is the grand solar squares is, the holy grail to Cardology. So this book is an introduction into that. And it's the workbook that I use. It says 2022, it was developed then, but it's not going to, it may be another edition, but everything in there is sealed. It doesn't change.
Right. In terms of uh like October the 1st is always going to be an 8 or 9,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what
Mm-hmm.
the year is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Now, this is another book where you merge astrology, numerology, and cardology. Now, this one I don't have. This one I want to get in by. In fact, all your books are available on Amazon.
And
So
my
I,
website. And my
yes,
website.
good. We're going to give all that information out too. Now, explain
Mm-hmm.
this.
Well, I do a room in Clubhouse 5 days a week and sometimes on Saturday, right? And we had conversations, and I find that a lot of people Google a lot of things. We are fundamental people. We look at the fundamentals because astrology doesn't change, numerology doesn't change, or neither does cardology. So I just wanted the language, the fundamental language. So when we were speaking to each other, we had an understanding of the things that we were saying, because that's where I came from. I came from reading, writing, and arithmetic. I didn't come from, it wasn't
Amen on
deep.
that one.
Yes,
Amen.
it wasn't deep,
No,
right?
wasn't no shortcuts. Okay.
Nothing, no
Get into the
shortcuts.
books.
Yeah, so when I write about that, I'm writing about the fundamentals of the number 7 across the board. The number 7 has the same descriptions all throughout all of the sciences. So I wanted to tie that together for people not to think that, oh, well, cardology is different. No, it's not. The basis of cardology comes from astrology and numerology. So I wanted to write a book that helped people with the fundamentals. So when we're speaking, they're getting comfortable with that, right?
And the beautiful part is your book demonstrates how all of this is related, like kissing cousins, so to speak, first cousins,
Yes.
family.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
family.
Yep.
And
Just family.
the one you just put out last month, Tools for
Well,
Everyday.
yeah.
I
This
love
is
the title, Tools for Everyday Life.
Yeah, that's my baby. For me, I'm a social worker by trade, right? And talking to people and doing this work throughout my career and developing tools was important for me. So I wanted to move away from the jargon of how we talk so we can introduce it to more people. So that's why I made it Tools of Everyday Life. And it's a breakdown of numerology, of the elements and of the planets. So it's just a fundamental way of us breaking it down so we can go deeper into, whatever it is we want to go into.
Good, good, good. Now I need to ask you a question too. Is of all of the cards in the 52 cards in the deck, is there anyone that's a favorite for you? And is there one that it says, I can take it or leave it, if that makes sense?
Not me. You know what they say. Once you say something like that, the universe has a sense of humor. Not me. I love
I'm
them
the same
all.
way. I'm the same way. Yeah, I get along with all the numbers.
Yes, the
I've
universe is out. I'll walk smack into that card tomorrow. No, I love them all.
Yeah, that's basically, I was telling my students, you get to the point, there are no bad numbers.
Nope,
It's a number
there
that you
isn't.
understand. And
Yeah,
once you
that
understand, you
part.
know how to work with it. So there's really any number
There's
I can't deal with or adjust
nothing.
with, I just
Mm-mm.
understand. And to me, that number, whatever the person carries, has to be as true to themselves as the
Yeah,
person and yours who carry that card symbol. They got to be
yeah.
true to themselves.
Yeah. And the thing that I'm feeling, whatever I'm feeling, it's about me. So if I'm feeling some way and I'm thinking that it's that person, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. It is not the number 7. It's you. It's that person carrying that energy, but you're going to discover that as as if you're just as intentional as you possibly every day, you're going to discover the mystery of why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to our comments, and then there was one person I'm going to read at the end who they made a nice size donation for he and his wife. I didn't read his wife, and I promised I would read his wife so I can stay on the good side of things. But in the meantime, let's see what happens with the comments here for people who have questions. Now let's see something. Let me go back a second. And I want to say happy holidays to my moderator for Wednesday, Empress Rel. And she is just great. And so let me see. So now this person, Donnell Scott, says, hi, I am a king of spades, which is how you open it up. I'm in a king of spades year going into a queen of spades next year. What does that mean? See, I know you would know. What does that mean?
I don't know. They didn't really pose a question. That would be the king of spades, right? It's not really a question here.
He says he's a king of spades.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess next year for him,
It's a queen of spades year. Well, for me, I look at the energy. When we're talking about cardology, we're looking at the energy of what is 67 a year that we're in. And in situations like this, I like to do collective readings because it gives us an understanding to know things better. For a king of spades, I would never try to do a 5-minute or anything because that would do the king of spades or the queen of spades an injustice, right? Because that's a lot that you're dealing with right now with going in, even just the weight of it, right? And we're all holding that card right now. So if we look at the collective at 67, the king of spades never moves, right? So when we would look at the collective at 67 and see what's happening around the king of spades, and voila, the 9 of diamonds is sitting next to it. You, Lloyd Strayhorn. So the power for you this year as your moon, this is about wish fulfillment, right? And you're going into the queen of spades year, so you're going into mastery. So you have to get your desires together. What are your desires? You have to be focused because 9s are cyclical. People say they're endings, but 9 never ends. It replicates itself. It's 3, 6, 9. So with that 9 of diamonds sitting in the sun, this is a time for you to, well, as a king of spades, you're not really an out there kind of person, but the things that you're doing and the desires that you want, people are going to see them. So you want to get supportive people around you to help you support you through wish fulfillment, because that's what 9s represent. So you want to get real intentional. Being a king of spades that never moves, I think of them as generators. It's like you bring it to you, but that's power. in order to know that, you have to relinquish a lot. You can't have all of that static. You can't have things around you that are distractions. So that 9 of diamonds being your moon card, you got to let stuff go this year. This is like just drop it and keep it moving. You can't hold on to anything that is going to put you in your feelings. As a king of spades, being in your feelings is very dangerous, right?
Interesting. Interesting. We have Tamisha. She says she's and thanks for the donation, Tamisha. She says she just subscribed today, first time live, and she is July the 10th of 74. So what card is she? I know she is a Cancer 1, and I know she's an element of water and fire mixed together.
She's a 5 of diamonds.
She's in the diamond, category.
Yeah, she's a 5 of diamonds. And if we look at the collective for the 5 of diamonds this year, the significance for you and how you will be moving and operating, what we want to look at is the synchronicity, because the card, the 9 of diamonds, is the card that is karmically tied to you, and that's the card that's sitting in the sun. For all intents and purposes, there's a lot of shine on the 5 of diamonds. The 5s, of course, are ruled by Mercury. They want to be free. They want to move around. They want to enjoy. But that power of that, the diamond says it takes time. So you got Mercury with a diamond, right? And it's like it takes time for you to develop things. And why the 5 of diamonds is so important, when it shows up, there's going to be a change of circumstances. But this year, you're displacing the 7 of clubs, which is your moon card. So out in the public as a 5 of diamonds this year, you may find that you need to say it. You need to get it off your chest, because the 7 of clubs needs to have the conversation. So you may find yourself being more engaged in conversations with people, really being more. And the 5 of diamonds is an extremely intuitive card. You have the Queen of Spades and Mercury, and you just come across as an old soul, all in, normally. But this year in the collective, you got to say it. You got to have the conversation. This is about the the initiation process that you will be undertaking, because it's challenging karma, because of Jack of Spades. So you may find that, you may feel that. And being born in 1974, you're 40. You're gonna be 40. You're either 48 or 49.
Yeah, 48, 49, yes, somewhere around there.
So yeah, this is a process. And for you, it's significant because you're still in your Jupiter year. So you want to be intentional with building, because when you go into your Saturn years, this is when the work begins. So in your Jupiter years this year, you want to have the conversation, you want to communicate the things. And then you have the 8 of diamonds sitting in your house. Now that's not really the best placement for you. It's like a shadow side, because 8 rules Saturn and 5s don't care for Saturn, right? So this is about building. You have to think about.
Basically, I get so excited because it's so interesting how all this relates. Because Saturn and Mercury don't work at all.
They don't.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Nisha just says, wow, you're hitting it. It resonates.
Yeah, you just have to be. This is a year of building for you. 8s want you to build. 8s are it's about obstacles, but it's about overcoming them, and your ability to look for long-term planning. And that's not a 5 of diamonds trait. 5s are not long-term planners. Mercury is not long-term, but this is telling you that you're looking toward your future, because you go into your Saturn years at 52. So this is giving you a chance to start and be able to step into Saturn ahead of the game. You're someone that could retire like 10 years earlier.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. I have another one, Lillian Hayes. She's born November the 19th in 1956. She says, what card am I?
November the 19th?
Yep. That's a strong will card. Strong will birthday, that I can tell you.
You're Ace of Clubs, right? And Ace of Clubs is one of those very dynamic cards in Cardology, because it's known as a semi-fixed biometric card that doesn't move. Ace of Clubs is a card that, and you're 1956, it does require a lot of what would I say? Your wisdom, at your age is very important, because the Ace of Clubs comes here with a different kind of mission. Like the King of Spades, doesn't move, but the Ace of Clubs only moves to and from to its soulmate, which is the Two of Hearts. So you're someone that needs people around you for guidance and direction and stuff like that. You could find your life as an Ace of Clubs of really never connecting with people. It's like people will come to you with a story and you could be, is that all you got? Because you don't empathize with people. It's like, I couldn't possibly understand why that would bother you. That's how you feel about life, because you'll never sit in that person's house. You'll never have an understanding truly of what they're saying. And you can try your best, but when you come across to them, they're going to understand that you're just not the person, right? It's like, no, she doesn't get it. You're not going to get it. So having people around you, I think of the Ace of Clubs as people who don't have a peripheral vision. So you have to have strong people around you that pull your coat and say, yeah, no, right?
Wow. This person here, thanks so much for the donation. It's Neo, your Quinn for you. They said they're seeking some words of wisdom. They're born February the 18th of 1986. They were 37 or will be turning 37 or going into 38. It says, thank you for your guidance and Happy New Year. So what say you for this person? They would be a diamond too, right? They'd be a 7th diamond. I think it goes backwards, right?
February 18th. Yeah, you're a 7 of diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got that right because I'm close to her. So, okay.
How did you attract all these hard people, Lloyd Strayhorn? You got the cream of the crop in this room today. These are heavy hitters.
Well, they know how to help end the year for.
Yes, these are heavy hitters in here. The 7 of diamonds that's Beyonce's card, right? And it's known as the billionaire's card, right? And it's a builder. Sevens are ruled by Neptune. So, and spades are the diamonds are the needful thing. So 7 of diamonds is a worker. In order to be that millionaire, billionaire, you got to put in the work. But the thing about the 7 of diamonds is it's a biometric card like the Ace of Clubs. It does not move like we move. So it moves differently. And it only has that soulmate, which is a 9 of Hearts. So 7 of diamonds, you got a difficult life. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a and if you understand the card and you study the cards, it can be so much more beneficial. But the 7 of diamonds can definitely be someone that has a lot of hidden secrets, a person that keeps a lot to themselves. And sometimes they deal with addiction because of what the burdens and stuff that they may carry. And then this year you were on Front Street because you're the Mercury card to the year. So this year could have been a year for you of really having to pull your shades down. It's like really not being that engaged with people. But at 37 years old, the maturity factor, you're still in your Mars years. And this is the thing about cardology, is that we learned that there are 13-year periods and you're in your 13 Mars. So this is where you're learning how to use the things that you know to get where you need to get to, because you're going into your Jupiter. So for the next 3 years, you got to focus. And I suggest you get a full reading, because you are in a very good place asking these questions, but getting a chance to totally understand why you always feel different than everybody else. 7 of diamonds, the Ace of Clubs, y'all always feel different. Y'all are people, the 7 of diamonds especially will be on the outside, skirting around the room, skirting around the room and not wanting to jump in because of that. 7s are ruled by Neptune, right? But that ability to pull back sometimes can be a little bit, it can be dark for the 7 of diamonds, 9 of Hearts, right? Y'all are very sensitive people. And like I said, lots of secrets, lots of undercurrent things going on. So yeah, I would reach out for a full reading if you're able to do that.
Well, we're going to give that at the end of this program. Now, Teresa has an interesting question. She says, can you use the 369 journal as the yearly journal, like your past yearly journal books?
Oh yeah, she's talking about, you didn't have that one. She's
You
talking about
have,
my journal. She's talking about, I have a 369 journal.
oh, I got that one.
You do?
Yes.
So yeah, she's talking about, do you
Can
use
you
that
put
as
that
your
up? Let me put the screen on you so they can see it closer. Good. How can they get this?
They can order it from our website or from Amazon.
Okay. Good enough. Good enough.
So the 369 is not necessarily, it's not a yearly, but you can use it, as your past yearly journals. Or for me, I wrote this because after I lost my husband, I was in a place, of mourning and going through so many different things. And I needed mantras and I needed so many things. So in Clubhouse, we meet every day. So me writing 369 is important. That's something that I do and I believe in. So the 369 journal is something, it's the cipher. They say 369, the goose string one, the monkey. You remember that one?
Yep. Boy, talk about a flashback. You're right. Yeah.
Right. So our ancestors used, that's magic. 369 is magical. Those three numbers together are very magical.
Even
So
Nikolai Tesla, the inventor, said those who understand the 369 understand the universe.
They understand the universe. So it's something that, I met an amazing person during that time of 369, and yeah, it's what I'm all about. That's why I wrote the journal, because I wanted to document that time of my life, coming out of losing my partner and then being able to go into a new cipher. That's 369, right?
Yeah, that is. This
But
person.
thank you, Teresa. Thank you for talking about my journal. Oh, I feel so excited about
And
that.
and we're gonna show that, because see, I don't have that shown as there, but we'll talk about that too. Seesaw says, blessings, Lloyd and Neena, as we move into 2024, what's in store for her? Or this person, I always assume it's a woman. I don't know why I do that. They're born on March the 5th of 1959 at 8:49 a.m., which means their sun is in the 11th house.
We have all of these mature people, right? March the 5th makes you a 5 of spades. I say these heavy hitters, y'all are heavy hitters. Yeah. Your life is a 5 of spades for sure. 5 of spades is one of those, it's a change agent. Being a spade, being a 5 is communication, and spades are all of the communication together. So 5 of spades is a very karmic card. There's a lot of karma attached to it because it's a spade. And looking into 2024, if we look at you this year in and of itself, you've been on Front Street. You have been feeling, if you're out and about, you are the card as we use for Venus. So you're a Venus card. And that's pretty cool, because the 5 of spades is Venus, Mars. Your life is exactly that, Venus, Mars. You're looking for balance, right? So trying to find that balance in relationships and life and stuff like that is extremely important to you, and how you communicate it. Because we know Venus is love and Mars is the other side of that. And Mars can cancel out Venus every time when ego steps in. So your life has to be very humble. You have to be a humble person, because when Mars comes along, you could lose the direction of where that love, that feeling, and all of that stuff is trying to take you. So this year, you're representative of that for us, because you're the Venus card. So relationships this year, we just saw, what is her name? I forget her name, but she's a Christmas. Does the Christmas songs and stuff, like Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah, Mariah Carey, yeah.
But she's breaking up with her longtime boyfriend. That's the 5 of spades. I'm just saying, it's in Venus, right? And then the North Node is Aries, and the South Node is in Venus. So the 5 of spades is the disruptor. So the energy that we're feeling in the collective is coming from people wanting to break out. Venus is saying we're not doing it like this anymore. So you should be feeling a lot of that. This is your breakout year where, I am getting rid of people, places, and things, and I am stepping, and especially at your age, it's like I'm stepping into my power with those nodes, especially. So you definitely want to read on the nodes because they're going to have some significant impact on you. And the nodes are there for quite a few more months. Right.
I love how you break. I love how you break this down. I don't know how you do it. I don't mess with it, but I know you're the best. Golden says she used that number for 12 years, which is 369.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. Okay, Golden, thanks for sharing that. Now, this is TJ. He made a donation. Thank you very much. And he put a little further down that he's born on October the 15th of 1959 at
Oh, we got some.
39 p.m., which means he's in the ninth house. That's where his sun is.
Right? October the 15th. That makes you a 7 of clubs. You are power. That is one of our favorites. One of our favorites. Who can you guess who that is, Lloyd? I'll let you
know. Who?
You have him as a guest all the time. He's one of the old school people that
Rebels Bay?
Huh?
Rebels Bay?
No.
King Simon?
No.
Who?
You gotta be the third person because you always have him on this show.
I'm trying to who would that person be?
I'm gonna let you think about it. He's the 7 of clubs. He speaks. He's always on your show. He's just on King Simon's show, I believe.
Hold it. You mean Phil Valentine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have him on at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah, he's a 7 of clubs. Yeah,
and he was my 7 in his birthday too. That's interesting.
Yeah, he was my first teacher. Phil Valentine was my first teacher. He introduced me to metaphysics all those years ago, right? And it's crazy because that's the sun card. That card supports me. It's a card that supports me. But the 7 of clubs is Uranus and Saturn. So the 7 of clubs has to get it out. Like I was talking about to the 5 of diamonds, because Uranus wants you to say it. So the 7 of clubs has glimpses of things that come to them and they need to speak about it. And sometimes it can be difficult. You don't know if you trust it. 7s have to have trust in it because it's ruled by Neptune. So they get lots of insight, lots of flashes that come to them. And of course, it's going to be talking about where the person is going because that's Uranus. But it can also be, Uranus and Saturn, when they're together, they make magic. When they don't, they tear shit up or tear stuff up. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand.
They tear it up. So you could be that person unknown to you that when you come around people that you are disrupting, because 7s are a cross. They're a bridge, and they're a bridge between the spirit and the mundane world. So when you come around, you got to be mindful of that you can be the old man, in the house, or you could be that person that has a great melody to you. So that's a very powerful card, a very, learned card later on in life, but your sun card, you support the 8 of diamonds. So that means you have a lot of wisdom. When you're sitting up there as a support card, that's a lot of power that you have. So yeah, as a 7 of club, one of my, I can't say like Lloyd says, but one of my most favorite cards because it's my supportive karma card. 7 of clubs is a shenanigator. They start stuff. They will start it, and then I don't know what happened. They are those people. That's Saturn, Uranus, right? So I am a shenanigator. I love shenanigans. I love it, right?
That's funny. We have Jamel Kennedy. They're born March the 11th of 1988. They said their life path is a 4, which would be correct, but Cardology wise, what card are they?
Another powerhouse, March 11, a Queen of Diamonds. Last year should have been an amazing year for you. All eyes were on you, and you're still young. You're in 88, so you're still in your 30s. You're very young in your Mars years, so a lot of responsibility. Queen of Diamonds is born with a lot of responsibility, siblings and stuff like that. Because they sit in Mercury, Saturn. So when they come out, they just come out into responsibility. And queens are mirrors. Queens are ruled by the number 12, right? They're masters. So you're here to master things, and you're here to master things through your resources. When people meet you, they see shiny stuff. They see the ability to obtain things. And sometimes that can get the Queen of Diamonds in trouble because you are a spiritual card. But if you on the outside world, the Queen of Diamonds is somebody that their hair is always fried, dyed, and laid to the side, even if they can't afford it, right? Their nails are done. They have on everything that's because the Queen of Diamonds is a mover and a shaker. And because they're a mover and shaker and they're around people of means, they might want to keep up with them, but that's not what you're here for. Queen of Diamonds brings people to the table in order to fleece their pockets. So you don't, Queen of Diamonds would be someone on the board of the Goodwill, someone in community organizations that are fundraisers, that are taking care of the community, right? That's the Queen of Diamonds. Today, how do you feel today? Because today's a 5 of Hearts, and that's your Mercury card. The Queen of Diamonds can have a difficult childhood with that 5 of Hearts with Mercury, because you came here to be supported. The 5 of Hearts has to be supported. So if you had a powerful support system, you are blazing through life. But oftentimes the Queen of Diamonds doesn't have that. They come in and their parents are not able to give them the things that they think they should have because they're a power card. It's like very karmic when we're dealing with those court cards. So this year, you're displacing the Queen of Spades, which is self-mastery. So I'm talking about January 21st. January the 1st is knocking at your door. So get ready for a boost. Don't get in your feelings. You got to be outside, and you have to do this work. You can't shrink. You can't say, no, don't get dragged. This is your year, sweetie. I don't know what you've done, but January, you're going to get a glimpse of it.
That's good. Now we got Natalie Grace. Thanks so much for the donation. She says, "Hi, Miss Diamond and Lloyd. Are you able to tell me about me?" She is a 5 of Clubs, born on May 27th of 94, and a King of Diamonds, who is born on July the 2nd of 1990. Thanks for all that you do. So this is our first compatibility right here, and at least she knows her cards.
She already know the shenanigans of that relationship. She already knows the shenanigans of that relationship. A 5 of Clubs and a 5 of Diamonds. Interesting, right? That's 5 of Clubs.
He's supposed to be a King of Diamonds. That's what she said.
Yeah, King of Diamonds, but she's a 5 of Clubs, right? And 5 of Clubs always they love to be talking about relationships when they really don't know if they want to be in relationships, right? 5 of Diamonds is a very secretive, mysterious card that loves clandestine affairs, and so does the King of Diamonds. So I think y'all could be made for each other.
But you said the 5 of Diamonds, but you meant to say
5 of Clubs. 5 of Clubs.
Yes, okay,
so y'all about that life. So together y'all can have a lot of fun. I would suggest having a lot of fun. It would be more difficult for you because you're the club and you're the teenager, and the King of Diamonds is the adult. So that would be the part where you would have to give grace for, because the King of Diamonds may feel like they need to be more more stringent with you. And they really do, because the 5 of Clubs is slippery when wet. So that King of Clubs is probably like, yeah, I got to keep my eyes on you. And you're like, no, I don't. Yes, I do. Right. So you have that kind of relationship. I think that y'all can really have a good relationship if you understand. Right. And, the King of Diamonds, they got a lot of stuff with them. They slippery when wet, too. So coming together and being honest with each other about your desires and stuff, because the 5 of Clubs, y'all go in and out of stuff. Y'all really, don't really it's got to be somebody to really keep your interest. And I think the King of Diamonds can do that. But long as the King of Diamonds, and the King of Diamonds is younger than you. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think you need to be with somebody that's younger than you and having fun and stuff like that. but get to know each other, I would say, more so. And it's with the King of Diamonds being younger than you and being a King of Diamonds, that might trigger you, but you're gonna have to, it is what it is. That person is a King of Diamonds, so you're gonna have to acquiesce, right? You're
Well,
gonna have
that's
to,
gonna be easy for my birthday.
yeah. It's
Well, let
not,
me.
but this is the thing with young ladies and if women, and this is something, as someone who is a senior, we are the powerful ones, and we got to know how to use our power. Just because you acquiesce and you are what people call what is the word they use? I don't even know what the word they use, but it's your man and you want him to be great. So there's sometimes you just gonna have to fall back. That's the bottom line. Men are
I
not
think the
that
word
bright.
they like to use is submissive or something like that.
Submissive, right?
Yeah,
Submissive.
yeah.
And it's fine. The 5 of clubs, y'all could play that off real good because I don't want to give up your business.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in this one because of the fact that she is a air sign with a fire number, and he is a water sign with a water number. So that water is all emotional. So what my thing is, if they asked me, if they came to me and said, Lloyd, we want to get married, would this be a relationship made in heaven? I'd have to say no.
No, it's not a relationship, but remember, diamonds are water. So that is, for me, is going to be based on how they both carry themselves, because those two need people that challenge them. They have to be challenged, and they have, iron sharpens iron. And the 5 of clubs is not going to be around long if they're not challenged, right?
But see, here's my thing too. Looking at the numbers, she's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
9 people, 9s and 1s, and you have two. You have 2 of those numbers, by the way. 9s and 1s are normally very direct. They tell it like it is, as my mother used to, one of her favorite songs. Okay,
but the King of Diamonds can take it.
Yeah, but in this case, so it could be, but the fact that he is a 2. So my whole thing is normally with 2 men, women wind up being their blessing and their curse. And where the number 9 is direct, 2s like to be diplomatic. So I always tell a woman dealing with a number 2 man, you got to ask the right questions because they will dance around the question if they can get away with it.
But their age, I believe they're Pluto and Scorpio. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but their age is what's going to be is the change for them, because they don't necessarily have the restraints that, and that's, depending on their upbringing and stuff like that. But they don't bring that tragedy with them. Right. So relationships can be different for them if they want to experience it. The thing is about experience in a relationship. And the 5 of clubs wants to experience life, right? The King of Diamonds definitely is an experience, but they're a different kind of experience. But the 5 of clubs wants to experience life, that part. And I think the King of Diamonds can afford them with those kind of opportunities, right? And even if they can at that time, they're going to figure out how to make it happen. If the King of Diamonds wants to be in a relationship with you, they're going to make it happen.
Okay, well, that's very encouraging. Now, what about Stacia Haven, rather? She's born on June the 25th of 1987.
Stacia is June the 25th. That makes you June the 25th, another 5 of clubs. So your 5 of clubs and 87 put you in your 30s, right? So 5 of clubs are, for me, there's some of them, they are fun people, especially as women. It's like y'all like what y'all like, but y'all definitely like a good secret.
They like under the radar.
Oh yeah, they like a good secret. The 5 of clubs knows what they know. They kind of, I think of the 5 of clubs as people who can see through walls. It's like 5 of clubs is like they know when you're lying, right? So relationships can be difficult for them because of trust, right? Trust issues and stuff like that. But I think that this year, you want to be more proactive in developing your skills and stuff like that, because your Mercury card is Jupiter. So Jupiter gives us the blessings, right? So you, and Five of Clubs is a very blessed card. Y'all can finagle a lot of stuff, right? So that Three of Diamonds being Jupiter this year, saying you gotta put yourself out there. Now Mercury, like we say, is ruled, it rules communication, and threes are ruled by Jupiter. And then that diamond is the elder. So this is your time to really shine, to really have those meaningful interactions, because when we're looking at Jupiter, we're looking at building. So this is community building and stuff like that. And in Five of Clubs, y'all are great speakers. Y'all are very animated, but sometimes y'all are y'all can go dark. And you want to avoid that. You want to avoid that darkness that sometimes having overload, right? And then totally having too much expectations in people. I find that with the Five of Clubs is y'all can have a high expectation in people, and people are people. So this year I would look at my career. Definitely I would look at your career and look at how you can build the alliances with people to help you further that.
Well, good. Goat Quality TV made a donation, and thanks very much for that. And there is a colleague we know, if this name sounds familiar, to use that. Drop that wisdom diamond. That's
Hey,
what I
Jack.
started laughing as soon as I saw it.
Jazz in the house.
That's my girl. That's my girl. She is
Girl.
awesome.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been
it.
blessed to meet so many nice people since I started this show. I think I'm extremely fortunate.
And you brought us together, Jazz. You have brought some. You brought me Jazz. I saw Jazz on your show one evening. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna meet her."
No,
I
she's
mean,
serious. She's serious.
yeah, you have brought so many people together. You know, we have to. You know, for me, and I'm serious about that. A lot of our ancestors from back in the day, Lloyd, they died broke, right? They did this work. And our community sometimes lacks the understanding of the energy that is required for you to
I try
unlock.
to
I
explain it.
could give you, I could give you a reading all day, but it's not going to unlock until you make some sort of energetic connection with it, right? So if y'all go from place to place getting these readings and saying, well, it's not going to work until you make some sort of energetic connection with that reading and that person. It's not going to work. There's nothing free in the universe. What I do for a reason. It doesn't necessarily have to come from you, but it's coming from somewhere. But you're asking for something. And because you're asking, you know, I was raised that you never go to nobody's house empty handed, right?
Thank
Never.
you.
I
That's how I was raised
always,
too. When you go, you bring something.
yes. So when you get this and when you get these readings from anybody, you have to know what reciprocity is, because the stuff that I'm telling you right now, it ain't even nowhere near what I would tell you in a reading, right? This
Yeah.
is just the surface of things.
Overview.
This,
Sort of.
yeah, for everybody, because I'm using the energy of everybody. But for your specific stuff, that's the investment. And if you say, okay, I want to read in diamond, how much is your readings? And it's something that you intuit to, the universe is going to give you that exact amount of money to
It's
get that
usually,
reading.
yeah.
It's not coming from your rent. It's not coming from anything. I know reciprocity. I know alchemy. I know I'm a diamond. Diamonds alchemize things, right? Coal starts out and becomes a diamond. That's alchemy.
Yeah.
So I know how to alchemize anything that I touch. I mean, people, I promise you, anybody that I work with, I got to work with quick because they moving. They will not be where they started by time. It's been my life. And you know, I have a powerful ace of spades and the five of clubs. Y'all got an ace of spades. Y'all lose a lot, right? People come and go in and out of your life because that's the initiation of things. So
Beautiful
you
lady.
want,
Can you say a little extra?
mhm.
Yeah, good.
So when you want to get something, you got to learn reciprocity. That's the bottom line. You
That's
have
how
to
we were
learn.
taught, though. That's how
Yeah.
we were taught. That
Yeah.
seems to be a lost art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is. this person we got that says peace, power, and blessings, Mr. Strayhorn and Miss Diamond. If you're doing readings tonight, they would love to know what 2004 is. By the way, thanks for the donation we got. Has in store for me. He is a male born on March the 6th of 1986. So what card
March
is he?
the 6th. So March the 6th, 86. So March the 6th makes you a 4 of spades. Now, 4 of spades is that your daughter asked about cards. I don't say about 10 cards is my favorite card. That's my son's card. So I have a great connection with that card. And the 4 of spades is known as the card of living your best life. Y'all are very fortunate. You sit in Jupiter, Venus. Now, when we think about the planets, Jupiter and Venus, they go very well together. So we start there with the planets, and we start with I'm looking at the 4, but 4s are ruled by Uranus. So you have a very blessed, odd, and unusual life. Right? Because 4s give it a whole different kind of flavor. So he's probably saying, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know how blessed my life is. It is, because things are going to come to you it's not going to come to you where you have somebody that's a friend and you're looking and you're saying, well, why is his path that way? Your path is your path, and 4s have a whole different path, and you're 4 of spades. So that means you have the 4 of diamonds, the 4 of hearts, the 4 of clubs, and the 4 of diamonds. You have to be someone that learns how to master the elements, right? The spade is the fire. And if you're working on finances, you want to fire up that diamond. If you're working on emotions and relationships, it's the heart. And if it's communication, it's the club. So you studying these sciences are to your advantage, because you want to know what to pull on. Spades are wisdom. And that means that you have a lot of wisdom. And for spades, you can spend a lot of time in your head, having conversations with yourself. But that's okay when you are doing the work. But we got to move that, especially spades. Spades suffer with depression, especially this time of year. The year starts getting dark when we get into spade season, because the sun, we have less and less of the sun. So the 4 of spades is someone that's the card of living their best life. But you got to know what your best life is. You got to bring it with you. It's like the things that you do, you got to have that kind of experience that you bring to it, right? It's like everything that we do becomes a part of who we are. And the 4 of spades, I think that's very important for you, because you're ruled by Venus and Jupiter, and that's Taurus, the 2nd house, and that's Libra, the 6th house. And it's how you do the things you do. Taurus is how you earn, and then Libra is the responsibility to the things that you earn. And then Jupiter goes bam. So you find yourself with too much or too little, and you're trying to figure out things, is because it's where it started at in that 2nd house. You got to be mindful of where it begins, right? When you see somebody and she looks amazing, and 5 days later she's not amazing. Yeah, you got to be mindful of that. It starts in Taurus. She looks amazing. Looks fade, right?
Definitely.
Looks fade, so you can't be superficial. And I find the 4 of spades y'all aren't. I find the 4 of spades that y'all are not superficial people when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. You can go into a lot of depth with that as you mature. But you're very fascinating. You got a very fascinating life path, and you want to study your life path, because you are literally the card of living your best life.
And his destiny is a 6. He's born on the 6th. So
yep.
I think it's very interesting. Now, what say you about Just D? He says, greetings to me and you, Neena. He would love to know an overview. He is born on the 5th of June of 1980.
Another Queen of Diamonds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So how did you feel last year? What was last year for you? Because last year, really pretty much the last 6 years were preparing you for something. And it's important that you get your ducks in a row, because this year you're sitting with the Queen of Spades, which is self-mastery, and you're on your way to the center of the universe, which is the 10 of Diamonds. So the work that whatever was happening last year, however you prepared yourself for being in the sun it's going to show you the direction. You're somebody that can really be retiring really young. When you have that hand and that hand is given to you when you're young, it's for a purpose. So you're someone that does not have to work into your 60s or your 70s. You have to get more prepared in order to be able to meet the people that you need. Because like I said, the Queen of Diamonds is someone that that is in the boardroom. It is setting the tone. It's like you're sitting having conversations and telling people, well, this is the Boys and Girls Club, and this is what we're going to do with this budget this year, right? But you got to get paid. So the budget has to include your salary, right?
Yeah.
So Queen of Diamonds is a wheeler and a dealer. So you got to learn how to do that, but you got to have the confidence and the understanding that you don't soft pedal things. The Queen of Diamonds steps in the room and starts talking, people shut up. And you got to be okay with that. That's why you got to study your craft. You got to know your craft, because you're Saturn, you're Mercury Saturn. So, you know, Mercury is communication and Saturn makes it real. Saturn crystallizes everything. So when you're communicating to people, they believe you. They're like, you opened your mouth. And I'm sure when you go places, it's like that. It could be quiet and you start talking and people are looking at you. You're like, what the heck just happened? Saturn. Saturn, people feel Saturn before they feel Mercury. So they feel your Saturn, and Saturn is restrictions and all of those kind of things to people. But you got to open up to understanding that we have to build these systems. That's the Queen of Diamonds. You're building systems. You're not restricting them, but yeah, we got $1 million. We got to pay. We got to use this money wisely. And people may not necessarily want to do that, right? It's like, what do you mean we got to use this wisely? I want to spend it the way I want to spend it. So when you open your mouth, they're like, oh, she messing with our money, or he messing with our money. No, you can't. You could go to jail.
Yeah. And right? People do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This person here is Pressed by Diamonds Creations. Brenda Lee is her name. Born on a Monday, January the 20th of 86. Would like to know what this new year is looking like for them and relationship-wise. And she said, of course, thank you.
Well, for you being born in January and all of that Aquarian energy that's coming your way, this is a great time for you to really look at where you are in all things community, you know, because we're going in that direction. So your year, everybody's year is starting off that, but the significance is that you're born in January, and on the 20th makes you another 7 of diamonds. Yeah, you do 7 of diamonds. What is the year? What is the year holding for the 7 of diamonds, right? That is a hard one. Like I said to the other 7 of diamonds, y'all are individual people that need individual attention. This year, you're sitting Saturn. So if we think of the 7 of diamonds in Saturn, we think about this is a year of wish fulfillment for you. So what are you doing? You know, you're displacing the 9 of hearts, which is kind of like your alter ego, your soulmate card, but you got the 5 of diamonds in Mercury. So there's been a change of finances and stuff like that, but there's a lot of pressure on you this year. You have an 8 of diamonds as your Venus, and it's displacing the 5 of diamonds. So you have been in a real precarious situation for you that is pointing toward, and you said 1986, another person is pointing towards you don't have to work hard. It's like this is a time for building for you. If you said you have diamonds creations and stuff like that, this is a year of putting yourself out there. This is a year of checking off things, because you sit in Venus, and like I said, Venus is how we earn. So the 7 of diamonds earns through that 2nd house and then through their 7th house. But there's a lot of obligations. 7s are spiritual, and people come to you all the time. They have their desires and things that they may want from you, but you can't say you can't necessarily say no, because 7 of diamonds to me is somebody, say you walked into the gas station and you bought a scratch off and it was $500 off the rip, right? You went outside and somebody standing outside said, man, I forgot my wallet, and you just got $500. You have to buy that gas. That's the seven of diamonds life. You going to be tested like that because your life is wish fulfillment. You walked into that gas station and you said, I'm gonna get a scratch off. It ain't no thing for me. I get it all the time. So you know what reciprocity is. I got $500. It came from the ethers. You are going to walk smack dab into somebody who asked you for something. That's your life. Your life is about wish fulfillment for you and the people around you, but you got to do that litmus test. You got to look at the people around you. Are they draining your energy? Then you get a chance to say no. It's like if you know this person is not legitimate, you say no because you cannot cast your pearls on swine. The seven of diamonds is the investing card. So you're investing through reciprocity because you believe it's coming back. If you're giving it to swine, it's not coming back.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, what about this person? We're going to take about maybe 4 more, and then we'll wrap it up. This is Melly Mel, April the 5th of 85.
April the 5th makes you a 3 of spades. Man, y'all want to, I'm telling you, this has been one of the most the end of the year, right? Because these are some power pack cards, right?
Well, good.
Yeah, the 3 of spades, you know your life, the 3 of spades, and it's so crazy because the 3 of spades is closely connected to that 7 of diamonds because every other year is their Mercury card, and the 3 of spades lives a life of wish fulfillment. It's the artist or the actor card. It is literally the card that every actor and artist out there wants to hold because of the creativity that's attached to it. 3s are ruled by Jupiter, right? And spades are, the wisdom of all of the other cards. So you can be the actor of actors. It's like you put on a different mask whenever you want to. I think it is 3 of spades as politicians because y'all can sell anything. I mean, the 3 of spades can sell anything. That's the actor and the artist, right? But you have a very blessed life path and you're young. You have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there and be seen and be able to use the gifts and talents that you have. Don't shy away from it, and 3 of spades don't shy. There's some cards who deal with jealousy. 3 of spades don't care. They do not care. It's like, I don't care. You can feel any way you want to feel about me, right? Yeah. There are some people who are fortified to live that life. And 3 of spades, y'all are fortified to live that life. Look at her picture, right? That's a 3 of spades. She is confident in herself, right?
That will cause her some enemies too, I guess, because of jealousy, you would think.
She don't care. You have to not care. 3 of spades should never care. They are too blessed. Their life path, the 3 of spades, they sit in Saturn. So they're the type of people who got receipts. 3 of spades is like, test me if you want to. They step into Uranus. They are always having flashes, always having, things changing around them all of the time. So as much as they believe in themselves is the more benefit they are to themselves. So yeah, 3s don't care. 3s are come see, come saw. 3s are one of the numbers. Yeah, they keep up, they recover. 3s are like, you can see the 3 tomorrow and they like, I know you ain't talking about that. We talking about that yesterday, right? That's a 3. It's like, I'm not there with you.
They're in the moment. They're in the moment.
In the moment. They like, let it go, right?
Now, Pressed by Diamond says, thank you very much for that. And we appreciate that too. And this is what Empress says about you. And in fact, I'm about to put up your banner in a second so people can take note. And what is not included, which we'd like to include, is your clubhouse. Can you tell us about that? How people can tune in and join you 5 to 6 days a week? And I mean, you've done this, about 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I just made my 3-year anniversary the other day. Yeah, I love Clubhouse, but I want to talk about TikTok. I'm a TikToker, and I am loving TikTok. So
hold on, you got a page on TikTok?
I am. I go live and everything.
What's the name?
I'm a TikToker. It's
what is it? Diamond 8?
I believe it's Neena Dunham. I believe so. You know, I got so many pages. I need to synchronize them all, but I ain't got there yet. It's
Now, when
Neena
you say
Dunham.
Neena Dunham, is that Nina or
No,
Neena?
Neena. This the new Neena.
Neena. Yeah,
Neena
that's what I.
Dunham, yeah, on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. All kind of. I love TikTok. I love shenanigans. TikTok is an 8 of diamonds, and I'm an 8 of diamonds.
Oh, well, that makes
And
sense then. As soon as you
I
said that,
love
that makes
TikTok.
sense.
I did not love TikTok, but I stepped into the world of TikTok this year. The cards don't lie. It's like once I stepped into that energy field, it just came like natural. But I am on Clubhouse every day. We're starting at 10 now. And Clubhouse is a 2 of diamonds, and it's Mars Saturn. So it's all about teaching. You know, I have a great community on there with
No,
people that
dedicated.
have been supportive for a long time. So we are working on millennials now. So we're talking about millennials and how millennials are going to be the ones that save us, that are getting ready to take over the world and take us to where we got to get to. So we're talking about millennials on Clubhouse now.
You know what's interesting? I too, like you as a diamond, recently came on board TikTok, and it's
I
been
see you. I see
really
you.
good.
You talking all over the place, Lloyd
Yeah,
Strayhorn.
yeah, no, it's really a game changer. It's just amazing.
Mhm,
Um, and in fact, there was a gentleman I had on, a psychic named John Edward.
mhm,
He used to
mhm.
have a popular show called Crossing Over, things like that on TV. And he said, Lloyd, you need to get on TikTok. He said that about a year and a half before circumstances finally hit me that way. And boy, I thank him for like having that vision to see that I would do it. And it's very enjoyable. I
It
really.
is. It is. I have met some really interesting people on there. It's tough. TikTok is 8 of diamonds. It's not for everybody. 8 of diamonds makes you work. You know, so I got issues with that, but I'm learning. I'm
Yeah,
learning,
but
but
see, we're used to work.
yeah, we used to
We
work
come
for
out of there,
sure.
we got to put in the work. That's,
Yes.
so this
Yeah.
shall we say, I expect you to, like, you owe me this. In life, nobody owes you nothing. That's reality.
For
And people will
sure.
find out either the easy way or the hard way. And unfortunately, a lot of people are finding out the hard way, that that attitude is not going to work.
Yeah, next year gonna be tough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat next year. Next year
I
has
was
an 8 of diamonds.
too.
Yeah, it has an 8 of diamonds in Saturn. So that people talking about gonna be a successful year. No, it's not. Success is in the work, and it's about timing. And if you haven't been working, where does the success come from? And this is continuous work. It's like you're always reinventing yourself. But for what I find is the vast majority of people do not know how to work in society. We could be against society all we want, but if society does not give you a blessing, you're not going to be successful, because society has to make it make sense. We have to have the parameters, the guidelines, and all of the things that are set up in society so we don't get sued. First of all, you know, whatever the things that we need to do, we're fitting inside of the things that Saturn has set up, and that's what society is. So when we come out of our personal planets, which are Mercury, Venus, and Mars, we have to step into Jupiter. And Jupiter has a responsibility to it. And then Saturn crystallizes it. So some people are not successful and they don't understand this society is not going to let you run amok. It's not. You have to fit within the parameters, because we get to Jupiter, we get to Uranus, and that's where we're going. Uranus goes direct on, I want you to write this down. Uranus goes direct on January the 1st on the Queen of Spades Day, that's ruled by Uranus. So you can look back over the last how many months and see what's getting ready to hit you. Because Uranus is the great awakening, it's the game changer, and it is
Yeah,
those sparks that are coming. And it rules Aquarius.
I was going to say that is
Pluto Pluto is going into Aquarius the end of January. This is a game changer. We have sent up these Batman signals to our ancestors, and we are their wildest dreams. And this is a game changer. So if you are someone that does not understand how to work within these systems, you're going to be disappointed, because Uranus is the greater good. Uranus runs through everything. It's the biology. And Uranus rules social groups. It rules what
Yeah.
we're doing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So you have got to find your tribe. You
And Pluto's
cannot
going
be
to
a
sit, and Pluto's going to sit in Aquarius until 2044.
Yes. And you cannot be a lone wolf with Aquarius. This is about community. So we have to learn how to use these. And this is stuff that is happening in our lifetime that has not happened in our lifetime. These are slow moving
Yeah,
outer
that's what they
planets.
call
So
them, generational planets.
yes. And
Yes.
this is what people are talking about. They want to have generational wealth and they want healing. This is what these are your dreams. You've set up these Batman signals and the universe is answering us. Now, what you're going to do with it? You're going to have to do something with it, because Uranus is not going to play with you. You will be zapped off of this planet. Uranus is moving it. I'm telling you, Aquarius is coming through with big feet, and Pluto is the darkness. We got to go through the darkness first, right? We got to go down into the sticky things that Aquarius wants to point out. Aquarius is going to say, y'all don't work well together, right? That's what Pluto is going to make us look at, as that as a collective, we don't work well together. So we go into the darkness, and that's, I believe it's January 24th. It's the end of January, and we're already in the shadow.
And plus, we're in the age of Aquarius anyway.
That part. So we go into the
there's going to be
darkness,
a
right?
lot of changes. And I made the statement, therefore, winners become losers and losers become winners.
And AI is already showing us that. A lot of people don't agree with it, but that's Pluto and Aquarius. That's Uranus. That is it. We don't have to agree with it. And this is where the millennials will come through, because the millennials grew up in this age. So the millennials will be the ones that will be taking us through the bridge from the old to the new. So
and they're just as smart as they can be too.
Yeah. So where are these planets? Where are your cards? Where's this numerology? You are an individual person, right? So everything that we say is overall, but you got to know your hand. You got to know your chart. You got to get these readings from the professionals individually. Invest in it. Invest in these readings, because you need to understand where you fit in it, because this is happening in a collective, but the collective is not thinking about you. This is happening. We have to learn how to navigate it. This stuff is happening, and you think Uranus is sitting up there saying, I wonder how Diamond is feeling today. No, it's not. No, Diamond needs to know how she's feeling, right? Uranus is coming through, right? And that's it. So we have to, and this is why we have the community that Empress is a part of. Empress is so dope, right? She does this work, and we come together daily and we sit and we discuss these things as a community, so we can have the understanding when we go outside into the mundane world, how we are going to build. Me and Lloyd are community people. We came from community. We know what that looks like. That went away, and now we don't community well, but we gonna learn.
Well, the rule is normally things go full circle as time works on. We're just going to take a couple of more. Now, this is interesting about Cynthia Tucker, because she has 7 letters in her name.
Ooh.
She's born on the 7th month, the 7th day, and in the year of the 7, which is 1969, which adds to 25, which adds to a 7. So she's a 777 going across the board, and she has 7 letters in her name. And by the way, the name Cynthia spelled this way adds up to 20, which means one of her parents is either a Cancer or a Taurus, or born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month.
I'm saying, right? Ooh, and she's an 8 of diamonds.
Whoa.
Yeah, boy, she is that. You are an interesting person. That's all I could say. She got, to get a hand like that, you came here to do something, and 69 gives you some wisdom. I definitely think this would be a year of you really taking stock in things with that 9 of diamonds sitting in your house, really looking at things Because remember, the 9 comes out of the 8, right? So what foundational things are you looking at that may no longer serve you, may no longer fit, letting go of things and not procrastinating, because 9 of diamonds could be a procrastinator. I'm just saying, there ain't no sense in holding that back, right? Lord, he said, stop it. But 9s in and of themselves, right?
No, you ain't saying nothing that don't sound familiar to me. I'll put it like that.
So as an 8 of diamonds, the pressure on you to perform it's a big pressure, because the 9 of diamonds is the card of viral. You just hit one thing and it's gone. So this year I would definitely really take stock into looking at the things you're working on and getting more pointed, because your challenging karmic card is the Queen of Spades, and that's the alchemist, and that's the manifester. And you're going into that month next month, which will test you and give you a chance to, really do a laundry list. But all in all, you have a great hand. You do. Your cards, those 7s, the 8 of diamonds has every 7 in the deck. You're definitely a deep person, definitely introspective, definitely somebody that keeps a lot close to your vest, because to protect yourself, right? Because you deal with a lot of haters. It's like people feel like if they take you out, then they can stand in your place. And some serious stuff happens to them, don't it? It's like you be like, oh, I hate it for you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Try to tell them,
Yeah.
We got one more. We got a young man that's born in 2009.
A
January
baby.
25th. Yep.
A baby, right?
His name is Go5.
We just didn't we do January the 25th? No, we didn't.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know we did a couple of 25s, but I don't think it was January.
Yeah, you're 2 of diamonds, right? So very 2 of diamonds is Mars Saturn, right? So in the collective this year, you are the Front Street card, the card that is causing a lot of shakeups, because the 2 of diamonds is Saturn Mars, but it's sitting in Venus Saturn. And Mars and Saturn don't necessarily get along when ego is at play. And 2 of diamonds is the card of soulmate. So we've seen so many celebrity breakups, and just, in your life, or maybe there have been a lot of breakups this year. And we can say it's the 2 of diamonds. And it's today, because you're sitting in the 5 of hearts. So how are you feeling today? When we're displacing a card, we're sitting in that house. Now, 2 of diamonds sitting in a 5 is not, you don't like it. This year has challenged you emotionally. 2 of diamonds is not an emotional card. You don't like all those emotions, and you're sitting in a very emotional very emotional house. So you learning to balance out that Mars energy and that Saturn energy, because the 2 of diamonds, y'all have a lot of responsibility. If you were a sibling, you took care of everybody. Mars Saturn, it just, it's like they knew they could trust you to watch your siblings or something like that. But you came into your family, and you probably looked at your parents a lot of time like, who are y'all, right? You really, 2 of diamonds could be someone that just feels displaced, right? Because of the energy field of Mars Saturn. But you have a lot this year to really pay attention to, because the 5 of hearts can be emotionally unbalanced, and the 2 of diamonds and emotions don't necessarily go together that great. So you want to make sure that you're checking in on yourself. This is your self-care. If you play sports, you want to play hard this year. If you are someone who plays, if you're a gamer, you want to go hard. These are things that will help you to not get stuck, because you got to have fun when you're sitting in a house like that. It's like 2 of diamonds, Saturn, and water. Yeah, that's not the best placement, and hearts want to have fun. Saturn is the deal breaker. It's like you have fun later. No, you got to have fun. You got to make time for fun this year, and you got to do self-care. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, do it times 5.
Well, before we close, first of all, you're going to have the last word, but there was a couple that made a nice donation on Monday, and I read him, but I didn't read his wife. It's from Young Black Entrepreneurs, and I didn't read his wife, who was born on March the 28th of 78. So what I'll say is this: your lady is a fire sign with a fire number. Symbolically, fire represents people who are very passionate, proactive, very determined. They're go-getters. And when they say they fired up, that's the missus. I will say that for the most part. She's going to be entering a 3 pursue year where things begin to expand and blossom. There's going to be a prosperity. She's going to be busy expanding her career and things of that nature. So you can expect her to be quite busy and be able to get a lot of things done. And I will say this: if there's been anything in her side of life that's been of a legal nature, is going to probably be resolved successfully in her favor. Her birthday suggests she probably wear glasses, has sensitivities with her eyes, particularly the left eye more than anything. And her key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. And she'll find that Sunday and Tuesdays, without question, and the minor way Thursdays are normally her best days. So thank you very, very much.
What's her birthday again, Lloyd?
March 28th of 78. What card is she? We'll put a little extra spice on that. Thank you.
Ooh, March 28th. She's an 8 of clubs. She a power. Ooh, that's a power. That's a very fixed card, but it's the card of the Black woman, and it's Mars Neptune. So that's a
card. The 8 of spades with Black women.
Clubs. The 8 of clubs.
8 of clubs with Black women. That's nice. Well, you know, I got to ask the card about Black men then.
5 of diamonds.
Really? Really?
Your card, right? This your karma card.
I love my diamonds. I love my diamonds. But anyway, to get to her, I got carried away when you said that. So what about her now?
Well, she's an 8 of clubs, and that's pretty dynamic. Now, she definitely has, you said that it's been her life, because she has an 8 of spades in Saturn. So she is a very dynamic person, and someone that deals with, people that, she deals with haters. That's all I can say. Because the 8 of clubs knows their stuff. It's like, if they know what they know, they carry it that way. They're like the Ace of clubs, the King of spades, the 7 of diamonds. We've had all of those cards tonight. The 8 of clubs never moves. I think of the 8 of clubs as Superman, right? Superman goes into a 4-sided glass and comes out in a different, you didn't do anything, but comes out with, took off the glasses and changes. That's the 8 of clubs. They bring stuff to them. They can morph into anything. They just vibrate. They're generators. So things come to them, and they're kind of like the Dalai Lama when it comes to spirituality. They deep, they know stuff, right? So being that power person that can be so misunderstood, because they never leave their space. So the 8 of clubs is like, I'm talking right now. She can hear what I'm saying, but she is never going to sit in my house to identify. So that could be a very lonely life, is that I don't identify with people. I don't know why you making such a big thing about that. I don't know why that bothers you. That's the 8 of clubs, because they don't have karma attached to them like we do. They did something. They did something in their past life that brought them to this place with a whole different mission than we have. They have a Superman. They're like saving people from themselves, right?
Wow. That's good. And I have to thank Jazz Aphrodite for reminding me to make sure that I read the man's wife, since he had made a nice size donation. Anyway, let me just make some announcements, because we're going to end it with you. Well, before we do that, before I make my announcements, let's make sure that people know exactly how to get in touch with you. And this is Neena Diamond. She is a cardologist extraordinaire, as far as I'm concerned. I put that word in there, even though I'm saying it. She's amazing. She's a teacher, a lecturer, consultant, author, a beautiful mom, just a great woman in general. And I know from experience, because I've been with her. And her email is diamonds with a S8 EIGHT 57 at gmail.com. Her Instagram is diamonds_8 EIGHT. And she has a YouTube channel called Diamonds 8. Oh, is it Diamond 8? Did I leave out the S?
No, I think that's right. I told you, my stuff ain't synchronized.
Okay, and her Cash App is $Saturn, since we talked about Saturn tonight, and the number is 796. Okay. And that adds up to the master number 22, by the way. 796. Anyway,
Do
so
you
that's
not
okay.
know I picked that on purpose? That was a purposeful. I learned from Jazz. I learned how to do those numbers.
She's that's my girl. I'm telling you, man. So, and I
Yeah.
want to make sure that people get a hold of your books. All of her books are now available on Amazon. The Cardology workbook, and her book also on the fundamentals of astrology, numerology, and cardology, which I don't have, which I will order. And this is the back of the book. As you see, she's just a great lady. And this is her newest book that just came out last month.
And
Tools
this
for
book will have
everyday life.
this book, Lloyd. I have a free course on my YouTube channel. We're on week number 2. So if you purchase the book, I'm teaching the book on YouTube on my YouTube channel.
Very good. And your YouTube channel is now Diamonds 8 or Diamond 8.
Diamond 8 without the S.
Without the S. Without the S. Diamond 8. EIGHT. Spell it out. Please don't be lazy. Thank you. All righty. So and let me give the banner one more time. And then I'm going to just announce a couple of things, and then I'm going to let you end the show for the last show for 2023 on Live with Lloyd. And this is how you get in touch with her, Neena Diamond, cardologist. She's an extraordinary person, teacher, lecturer, consultant, author. Her email is diamonds857 and go to her website too for more information. That's diamonds_8 EIGHT. Her YouTube channel is Diamond, no S, Diamond 8, and her Cash App is $Saturn 796. All right, got that straight. Now, just hold on, my dear. I'll be right with you. Okay. And I want to just make a couple of announcements before I bring her on to end it. And today is the last day, and I think for the year, that my courses are on sale. This is, as you see, it's actually, if you get all 3, it's less than lunch for 2. It's called the Learn from Lloyd series, How to Read a Person Like a Book, The Next Step in Numerology, and the one that Jazz Aphrodite and I collaborated on called the Do's and Don'ts of Numerology. If you were to look at the reviews, I have over 1,700 reviews about the courses, okay? And as you see, all of them are 5-star, though they said 4.8, it's 5 stars, trust me, on all of them, which shows the quality. And I'm glad to say and honored to say Jazz Aphrodite did the whole website on all of these. All of these. That's why, I mean, and so the fact that they're around the world, over 90-something countries, translated in 30 languages, shows the dynamics of her presentation and her work. So if you want to know why I talk about her, if you get this impression from her work, you would too. So I want to give her
that part. Yeah.
You gotta give the sister the credit. Now they might be haters, well, you're just gonna have to take your hate somewhere else because I'm not having it. So also, I'm wrapping up December. January will be here before you know it. And also for those of you who have signed up for my A Star 8 app, where you master yourself, you will find it very, very helpful. The calendar is amazing. It'll help you time your affairs. It's a lot of components to it. It took a lot of work. Much of the kinks are worked out. Much of it. There's still some as I go along, but thank you very much. And for those of you who do have any questions, again, go to astar8.com. That was also constructed by Jazz Aphrodite. Okay. Or if you have a question, just email me at astar8llc@gmail.com. And like Neena Diamond, I am on TikTok. And I mean, I really like it. It's amazing, the things that have happened. And for those of you who would like to take a class, I have exclusive on TikTok just for beginners to teach you how to do that, just exclusively on TikTok. And by the way, since it's the last day, I do have an audiobook, Numbers in You audiobook. If you get the code, you'll get a 15% discount off. And for those of you who would like to listen to podcasts as I do have a Numbers in You podcast also as well. So with that, and also We're going to be talking about next week about supporting Jazz Aphrodite's upcoming project, Numbers Felt, Cards Dealt. So on Kickstarter, we'll talk more about that. And I do want to thank, before I end, my two sponsors in the reverse, which is my brother King Simon. We've been knowing each other. We've had some interesting experiences together. He and I, from radio to some other things, numerology. The brother's brilliant. God bless him too. And so he's been sponsoring the show. And also the newest sponsor, Ms. Kimberly, on Manifest on Purpose. So if you want to know about the inner workings of the mind, this is where you need to be. You need to hear these things. And it's so amazing. She takes her life's experiences and transpose them into universal experiences that all of us happens. And one of her favorite sayings is, the God in me loves the God in you. I think that is so cool. That's what I'm about. So for all of us, I'm telling you, the God in me loves the God in you. Okay, so I took one of her things, but it's true. It's true. That's how we roll. So now, Miss Lady, you get the last word. Hope. Let me get it on you. There we go.
Okay, so I want to give you a brief overview of the Eight of Hearts year. I'm just going to read something that I wrote, right? In Cardology, the Eight of Hearts symbolizes a focus on emotional balance and harmony in relationships. For the upcoming year, you might consider discussing relationships with an emphasis on these themes: emotional balance, harmony in relationships, deepening connections, self-love, and self-care. Eights are ruled by Saturn. So this is going to test you. It's definitely going to test your relationships emotionally. But we step out of the gate into those two sixes. So the Eight of Hearts year is going to slow down significantly to give you a chance to breathe. Sixes are bringing you into balance. So communication wise, and then the Six of Spades is, of course, across the gamut. For me, always practice self-care. It's important. Relationships are amazing, but one thing I think we forget is that the relationship is an entity all into itself, and we got to learn how to nurture that relationship separate from who we are. Right? Be mindful and respectful of that. And then things will fall into place and get better in order. I love relationships. I'm a social worker and I've done relationships counseling for decades. And it's something that we've gotten away from. If you want to be in a relationship, it's you that's preventing you from being in it. And if you are in a relationship, before you lose good people, make sure that you discuss it with people. Because we're not in a time where people genuinely talk great about relationships. I've always been in a relationship. I've always been somebody's wife because I am about that life, right? So if you are not around people that are going to support you in your desire for a relationship, you got to change your circumstances. You got to clear out that clutter and stuff in order to bring that relationship. And that's why I wrote 369, because I've met my person during that process, right? Yeah, my person, right? My guy,
When
right?
I saw you, you seemed quite happy, dear. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. So let's build relationships if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. But don't be the Debbie Downer. Don't tell why you don't want relationships. Let's build relationships and community, because I don't understand,
You
especially,
think that's about misery, love, company? And
yeah,
you
yeah.
being happy, why don't we waddle all in this together? Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm about that life. If you want to be happy, hang out with me. If you want to meet your guy, you want to meet your girl, hang out with me. I
yeah.
promise you, they're waiting for you. But the universe says that until you clean that stuff out, you can't have them. Why would somebody be so great coming to you and you a bowl of yakame? Stop. You got to do the work. So let's do it together this year and build the relationships that are going to help our community to be stronger in this new this new Aquarian age that we're going into, right, Lord? Straight on.
Yep. Amen on that one. Neena, thank you so much, dear.
You're
Love you very much.
welcome.
You have the best of the new year too, you know.
You too.
So what I want to do is I want to remind people, for those in a generation that Neena and I experienced, which is and it is not lost. It is not as pronounced or talked about as much, and that is about Kwanzaa. And this is for those of you, this is the founder of Kwanzaa. And tomorrow we will be in day 3 of Kwanzaa. Ujima is to build and maintain the community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them. And that's on Thursday. Friday is Ujama. On Saturday, it is Nia. On Sunday, it is Kuumba. And on the 7th day, which starts January the 1st of the brand new year, it is Imani. And so we want to let you know that this was founded back in 1966 by brother, and I knew him as Ron Karenga. He's now Marlana Karenga. All right. And by the way, one more thing for his website, for those of you who wish to know more and explore more, this is his website. Just go right there, Marlana Karenga, and check it out for yourself. See how he started. The man has an amazing history. If you want to see more, you can see it on Wikipedia. He was an advocate, African consciousness, and things of that nature. So that's it. So I'm going to sign off. You'll all have a wonderful, wonderful end to 2023. And I'm going to take a passage from my sponsor, Manifest on Purpose, when she says, the God in me loves the God in you. And if you really understand what she's saying, all of us have the God within. It's just acknowledging that God within ourselves. And that I can't do for you. But the God in me honors the God in you. So with that said, you'll all have a blessed, blessed day. Take good care of yourselves. Love you much. And I think, as they say, that is a wrap for 2023. That's it. I'll see you on the other side, 2024.